Okay, Miss Wendy, you are good to go. You are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Get Set Up TV.
Thank you so much.
Of course, of course. Is there anything else you need from me before I step out?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, Wendy.
Now,
you have a great class. If anything, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to support, and we will jump in.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Of course, Miss Wendy. Have a good class.
Okay, thanks. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, are those real eggs behind you, Dina?
They're eggs in a painting.
I can't hear you.
They're eggs in a painting.
I couldn't hear you a minute ago, but can everybody hear me okay?
I can.
Yay! So I am, I'm up in the mountains, and I live in Colorado, and our internet is typically okay. It's not great, but it's typically like okay. And the last couple of days, of course, because I'm teaching a bunch of classes, the internet decided to just be a little bit funky. So I sent you all a note in the chat. If you could answer that, that'd be awesome.
I don't see the note in the chat. This is Joanne.
Really? Okay, let's see. Well,
I don't have it either.
Okay.
No.
Okay, well, guess what? I'm going to write another one. Don't you worry. Just give me 1 minute to get to my chat. This is so funny because I'm like literally on like 2 different computers here. So give me just a second to get in here on this computer. Okay, so I don't know why. Okay, I'm going to give you a little chat here. All right. Well, here's I don't know why my chat is not, I can't seem to get, oh, here we go. Okay, this is for everybody, all right? Here we go. That's funny, I want to send it to everyone. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I just sent you a chat, and while you're chatting, I will, and if anybody would like to turn on their video, that'd be great, just so I can see you for a minute. I'd love to always know who I'm talking to. It kind of just makes me feel a little bit better. I know we have Lester here, who's part of the Get Set Up team, and thank God for him, because he like saved my life yesterday when I was having all my Zoom problems, etc. So we are so great. I am so grateful to have him here. And so if you have any technical problems or any problems that you don't want to bother me with, bother Lester with them, okay? Because he's awesome. So Okay, Dina's audio is not working. I bet that Lester could work with you on that. All right. I need to minimize this screen a little bit because it's a little big and I'm not able to see all of you. All right, here we go. Okay. Okay, everything. Joanne wants to learn everything. Nancy, using multiple windows. We're going to do that today. That's the same as accessing more than one app at the same time. How to turn on and off split screen. We're going to learn that. Those are all related questions, guys. Screen sharing. So screen sharing, I will show you how to do it. It's a little bit hard to do with, I mean, I'll tell you what it is, but it's screen. I think you're thinking of screen mirroring. Maybe like when I share screens, is that what you're talking about? Like on a Zoom call, do you want to know how to share a screen? Is that what, who was asking me that? Mary, is that what you wanted to know, Mary? Okay. Okay, let me just make.
This is Mary.
Hi,
I want to know how to open up Hoopla, which is a book sharing program. And then when I'm Zooming with my grandchildren, share my screen so they can see the Hoopla books.
Got it. Okay. Well, we'll go through screen sharing today. And if we have, we will definitely try to save some time at the end for that particular. So welcome, guys. I'm Wendy. I am your Get Set Up guide. I am so excited about this class because I don't really know how many of you have taken my other classes, but I do teach an iPad like beginner class. And so this is the assumption that you guys are pretty comfortable on your iPads. And I think that's great. We will get to all of these questions today. The way I usually like to teach, and especially at this level, is to have a few things that I think are important, maybe tips and tricks, and then to absolutely answer your questions, because at this point in your iPad career, you're looking for your own like stuff to do. I mean, I'm happy to teach you a million different things, but I want to address what you're interested in. That makes a lot more sense, right? So Get Set Up, you guys know all about it. It's this great organization where it takes experienced adults, not seniors, experienced adults to teach other experienced adults. Just some things that we are good at or that we know or that we like. I love teaching. I love seniors. I love technology. My background, I don't have any slides, so I'm your slide for the minute. My background is actually in medicine. I was a pediatric PA for a long time, but I had this bent on technology. So I knew that I would get to that at some point. So I went to work for Apple and I took away all their secrets. And then I left Apple and I opened my own company to specifically teach seniors about technology. And then the pandemic obviously came and I couldn't go to anyone's home. So here I am. And, you know, I have to be honest with you, it's really fun to get to know all of you. I want to know any stories you have, anything that you would like to share with me. I've had learners teach me things. So if you know how to do something in a different way than I'm teaching you, please share. I had someone teach me something yesterday that I didn't know because, you know, Apple, the beauty about Apple products are that there's about at least three ways to skin the cat, meaning there's three ways to do almost every action. So I may know one, you may know another. I try to do, I think, what's most intuitive, but maybe not for you. So with that, I'm going to share my iPad with you guys. If I forget any of these, I don't think I'll forget any of these questions. I just want to see this one. When I click a link, does the screen sometimes open on the side and doesn't open in the Siri? I'm not sure I understand that question, Helen. Maybe you could just ask it to me. Do you have to get off your, off your mute? All right, so I'm going to screen share, actually, guys. You can probably see my iPad, right? Does it look big? I tried to use something else now. I'm using a different program, so it looks nice and big. Yay, okay. So I'm gonna just close my participant window, and I'm gonna just hang out on my iPad now and work with you guys. Let me just get rid of this chat box over here. We're gonna
So just a quick story. I was helping my daughter move this weekend. I have two daughters. I was
Okay.
helping her move, and we had we were just blowing and going, and we finally took a little break. And I was just looking at my phone, and I saw this really cute TikTok picture and sent it to her. And my response from my daughters was, "Dad, you're too old for TikTok."
Oh, that's not true. That's not true. Dads, you know what? Let me just tell you something. I'll tell you something. Do not let your children, grandchildren, whatever, tell you anything about what to do. And also, don't let them touch your devices. I'm not kidding you. I have had more, and this happened more when I was working at Apple, but I have had more people like get things all messed up because their granddaughter or their whatever put something on their iPad and said, you need to do this, or their child. But anyway, I just, I love this. And, again, there's some things that I don't know. I mean, I think I know a lot, but believe me, I keep learning new things. So one thing I do want to share with you about the iPad now, if you've updated to the latest software, is that it has its own operating system now. Kind of is between the computer and between a phone. It's not an OS operating system, but it's another S. And I don't know what it is, but it's kind of cool because I think it's going to allow us to do a lot more things. So with that, let's go to our iPad. What's so fun about this class is that you all are pretty familiar with it. You know what to do. So I feel like the first question we should address is split screen, because that was a question. So with split screen, let me preface this by saying, not every application allows you to do split screen. So if it's not working, that's the reason. What you're going to do, so I think listen first, is you have to have one application open. So I'm going to open my Safari window. So you can see what I was buying last night, a Vitamix. Oh, I have my screen open. I was buying a Vitamix because I have one up in my house in the mountains, and it's like one of the first ones ever. And it's really slow. I'm like, okay, this is not working for me. Okay, so I just opened Chrome, all right? I was in split screen. Now what you do is you bring back up your dock. So from the bottom of your iPad, you bring back up your dock. And then you hold onto an application just enough to kind of drag it up, and you will see it become like a little rectangle. It's a little bit of finger work and a little bit of just being careful. Let me just admit this person is a little bit of being just careful. So I've opened one app. So now I want notes, perhaps, because I want to take some notes on what I'm doing. So I'm going to, with my finger, guys, I'm going to slide my notes app, which is right there, right? I'm going to slide it up. Maybe, see, sometimes I'm going to slide. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of that cursor there. I'm going to slide it. See, it's not even working for me. All right, let's try this again. Let's go to the dot. Okay, I'm going to slide it up and see how it turns into a rectangle. And then if I slide it over to the side, it then makes a split screen.
Oh, cool.
So what's cool about this, there's a few things, a lot of things, right? So now you basically have two screens on your iPad. So you have, so if I say I'm Googling and I find a Vitamix and I want to write a note for myself that, Amazon has, sorry. Amazon has Vitamix for, what is it, $289, whatever. Okay. All right. So that's how you get split screen. All right. Now, again, if you want triple screen, you can have that. Again, it's a little tricky, but I'm going to pull my dock up. And now I'm going to go to my app store and pull that one up. And so that one now, okay, wait. So now, shouldn't have done that. Let's see what happened there. Unless it's behind it. Give me 1 sec to play with this. I'm not sure what happened there. You can have 3. It's very tricky, guys. It's you can tell the touch is very tricky. Okay, so we've got our notes. And now, as you can see with my screen, guys, see how it's not exactly even? So I don't want to write another, well, I'll just write notes. Okay, so done. But you see how my split screen is not even? It's not an even split screen. It's like a third, 2/3 and a third. So I can move notes across like this, or I can just release it and it will go off completely. What you basically want to do is make it comfortable for you. So I'm going to do this again. It's a tricky one. It's tricky getting notes up there. Okay. So actually, you know what this did, guys? This created, I think, a third window for me, not even knowing it. Because this window will slide across, maybe. It's funny, it's like not doing it for me. There we go. Okay, so actually, this was my third window. So let me just close this. Let me go ahead and close this and take it away. All right, so I have my Vitamix, and then I want to have my notes. I'm going to slowly bring it up. It's very.
You on an iPad?
Yeah, I'm on an iPad.
With the different windows that's showing up?
You should be seeing right now, it should say Bloomingdale's and then some Vitamixes. Do you see that?
I see new tab, get set up.
Oh, you don't see my.
I see Bloomingdale's. I see a guy. You're back to Bloomingdale's. But how do you get those different windows up? I don't.
Those are windows that I had up before. So for example, if I push get set up, that window was up there before. It's not anything that really you guys need to really know. But so if I go back here, what I want to practice is I want to make sure everybody knows how to do split screen. Practice it.
Excuse me, this is Joanne. Could you go over the process from beginning to end again?
Of course, absolutely. So you have to open one app. So as you can see, this Bloomingdale's application is open. And then you take your finger and you bring up your dock. And then, as I said before, not every app allows you to do split screen. So I want to add notes. So I'm going to grab my notes, and it's I don't want that. I just want to grab it. Oh, it's not so easy, guys. It's, hold on. Okay. So you hold on to it till you see that, and then you bring it to the side. And now I've got my notes up there. As you can tell,
things at the bottom of the screen.
I'm sorry?
How did you get your notes at the bottom of the screen too?
On your dock. So that was a really good question. I guess I kind of skipped that step. So okay, everybody knows where their dock is, right? Your dock is at the bottom of your screen on your iPad. In order to use split screen, you have to have the apps that you want both living in the dock. Thank you. That was actually something I neglected to tell you first round. So you have to so I wanted notes down there. Now, everybody knows, I'm going to go over this again. But if you don't know, you're going to learn right now how to move an application into the dock, how to move an application anywhere. You're going to hold your finger on the application. So I'm going to hold it on reminders, and I'm going to wait until I see this screen, and I'm going to go to edit home screen, and everything starts wiggling. When things start wiggling, that means that you have an opportunity to do something. It means there's an action. So now I'm going to just grab it and drag it and drop it into my dock. And then I'm going to hit my home button and everything will stop wiggling. You can also tap anywhere in the screen, anywhere on this screen, and that should stop it also. Okay. So does everybody understand? Are there any questions about the steps? You make sure the applications that you want to open are both living in the dock. You open one application. So I'm going to open Safari or Chrome. Let me get rid of, so let me just make it one page. Then I'm going to bring the dock up again by sliding from the bottom of the computer up, the bottom of the iPad up, bring the dock up, grab notes until I get it to there. Okay. Now, after you have your split screen, you can decide if you want it to be half and half or 2/3 and 1/3. And the way that you do that is you see this little bar right here? Touch it. Hold on. You're going to touch the bar. It's hard. It's not, there's my third one. Okay. I'm going to touch the bar. Okay. And drag it over. So now I've got 2/3 and 1/3. As you can tell, this particular, what it's called, that we're doing action of creating split screen is a little touchy. I wish that it was a little more because when you touch an application for more than a second, you usually get the options to edit screen, delete, whatever. So it's in between that. Now, what's interesting, I just learned this, is that hiding underneath my Bloomingdale's is my third one. Move it like that. And now I have Bloomingdale's is smaller and my notes are larger. Does everybody want to practice this once or twice? See if you can get it and see what your questions are around it.
Wendy, I've got 2 questions.
Yes.
First of all, how do you know whether the app is going to allow you to do split screen?
Because it won't work. I'll show you. That is such a good question. So we played around with this because with the launch of the new operating system on iPad, if you have updated, I was having some problems. So for example, let me see. Let me get another app that I'm pretty sure does not have split screen. I'm going to try the New York Times. I'm not sure if it does. I'm going to bring it down. I'll bring a few down so I can play. I'll bring GarageBoard down. Okay, so now I've got more. Does everybody know? Let me just go over this because even my regular iPad class students, this is partially one of the new things on the operating system. You see how there's this line? See how these are all on my dock, but you see to the right of my notes this line. That line, similar to the computer, is recently opened applications. Okay, so even though they are down there, they are recently opened, all right? They are not applications that you're currently using, but they were recently opened. So that is just something that I think I should let you know.
So recently opened ones, only those on the right?
Yeah, it's just because they're thinking maybe you want to go back to it. It's Apple's way of saying maybe she wants to go back to it. So,
right, but it's the ones on the right side of that bar, vertical bar. It's not the ones on the left.
That is correct. The ones on the left are so let me tell you the way that I organize things, guys, and then we're going to get more into this, but I want to make sure we get split screen really good. The way that I organize things is I view my dock as my desktop. I like it pretty clear and clean, and I just have on there a browser, my mail, my messages, my app store. And then I keep apps that are frequently used, but not a lot, not all the time, on the front page of my iPad. So you know how you have all these pages, right? And you can scroll back and forth. I keep applications that I want available on this front page. Now, granted, I'm teaching this class, so I have different things on here, not necessarily my favorites. I'm just doing it for class teaching purposes. But I like to look at, like I said, your dock as your desktop, a real desktop, and the first page of your iPad is sort of what's in your top drawer. Like, I need that. I need those notes. I need whatever. Okay. So let's do the split screen again together. I'm going to open reminders because I know that, okay, I've obviously opened reminders lately. Then I'm going to bring up, okay, so this is interesting. Okay, so then I brought up my doc and I'm going to try to do the New York Times split screen. Oh, it's going to work. All right. I promise you, you will come across applications that don't work. And the reason you will know and the way you will know is it just won't split screen. Now,
can I ask my second question?
Of course.
Why would I want to use split screen?
Great question. One of the reasons you want to use split screen is because okay, I'm going to give you a live reason. So I'm going to open Chrome. And so on Chrome, it's a browser, right? So I can look up anything. So I happen to be looking right now for a new Vitamix machine. So I've opened that up, but I want to keep notes about what I'm searching for. So I can bring up my doc, bring my notes. This notes is trouble. It's trouble. Trouble notes is trouble. Sorry. It's really touchy. Oh, come on, notes.
Unintended.
What? Does anybody have any suggestions? Oh my God, this is why I'm telling you.
This is what I get, that little box with the different options. That's what I get when I touch it. Does that mean it isn't working?
No, I am telling you, you are witnessing the exact problem with split screen. It is a little bit testy. I'm going to try something. Give me just 1 minute. I'm going to try something. Again, I'm going to do this and I'm going to bring up my doc and I'm going to bring up my notes just to make sure. I want to see something. Okay. Now I'm going to close it. I have a feeling I know what happened. You guys know how to close apps, right? You know, you go to, just like on your iPhone, you just double tap your home button and then you start bringing up all of your apps and closing them. Okay, so we're going to try this again. We're going to go to Chrome. So I'm viewing my Vitamixes, right? Now I want to take some notes about my Vitamixes. Oh my God. It's very testy. It's really testy. I'm not going to lie.
Can I ask quickly, do I want to close I see I have like 20 apps open. Is that taking time and energy away?
I'm going to close everything. It is not taking anything except a little bit of battery life.
Okay.
I'm closing all of mine right now, as you can see. I'm closing all of them. So I'm going to do this in reverse and see if it works better. All right. I'm going to try something. And this is a really, really good lesson for you that things don't always work perfectly. So I'm actually going to open notes first. All right. And now I'm going to. Yeah.
How do you undo split screen?
I'll do that right now, Warren. Give me 1 sec. Let me get this darn double screen up. I'm going to take my Chrome. Okay, good. So for Julie, you were asking why you need it. So this is a perfect example. Okay. So I opened a browser and I want to look for Vitamix. And I can push go. And it's basically like I have two computers. Okay. So now it's giving me options. So if I wanted to take some notes and I wanted to say, hey, Vitamix on, Amazon is, $300 or whatever.
Right.
Then I have it in notes, but I'm also able to kind of do side by side. I have a really big iPad. It was my husband's, it was his father's. It was it's really old, but it's big. It's like 8.5 by 11. It's a sheet of paper. So for me to do split screen, it's great. Let me show you, Warren, you asked how to get rid of split screen. So you can do a couple of things. You can either close the app by hitting, your home button twice, or take your finger on this silly little bar and hope that you move it, and you're going to move it all the way off the page. So I'm going to slide it off the page. And now it basically, it closed Chrome as well, which it shouldn't have, but that's how you do it.
Can I quickly ask, I have all these apps open now. I mean, when I double click my home button and I see them all. How do I close some of them and not all of them? Where do I touch them?
So you see that, so I can see that you can see I have a couple apps open, right?
Yes.
You take one finger and slide it up and it will close it. You can just close one at a time.
Got it. Got it. Perfect. Thank you.
You're very welcome. At the end of the day, it's a really good idea to close your apps. The iPads, for reference, are not quite computers. Stronger, more battery, a little bit more comfort than phones. But the truth of the matter is they are still not a computer. So I think it's very, very helpful. I think I was having some problems yesterday. It was internet related, but I'm not sure that my having 30 apps open didn't also contribute to backlogging on an iPad. Mm-hmm. So does everybody understand the process of split screen? And now you can just practice it. Everything that you want to use must be in the dock. You open one application first, and then you slowly, as you saw, I was having problems, right? It's not so easy. I'll try it again. So I'll have the New York Times open, and then Warren, you wanted to know how you close it. So you just drag it across, okay? And now Reminders is still there. If I bring up my dock and I want to have my Chrome open, I bring it up and now I have my Chrome. Okay.
Are there so many docks you could put in? I mean, so many apps that you could put down in the dock at one time?
A limit, you mean?
Yes.
So that is the question of the hour. My answer is it is limited to the size of your iPad screen. As you put more and more and more down there, the smaller they will get. I personally, like I said, I don't keep very many. So I'm going to take GarageBand and move it out. So everybody knows, I want this to be a yes or no question. Everybody knows how to move applications around. You hold it down. You wait till you see options, edit screen, delete. I mean, every developer has different options. Like some apps, you can only open them or delete them. You can't, or edit the screen. You can't do anything more with them. But this is like a really important one step beyond basic iPad stuff, because you got to know how to move your applications around to stay organized on your iPad.
When I do the split screen and I bring up the app, it's in a much bigger block. Yours seems much narrower. Mine looks like a big old square, and it occupies the whole screen. It kind of.
Can you see a line at all between it? Like, are you seeing a differentiation at all?
No, it just replaces the other screen, the other app that was open. It just replaced. Yours is very narrow. Mine was like a big box.
Huh.
Is there a way to adjust that, or?
Well, normally it would not be. I want to try a couple things and see if I can replicate what you're doing. Okay, this is interesting. So messages, guys, definitely. Oh no, it does work. I see what you're saying. I think it's very small. I think that I'm trying to see how I can tell you to make it bigger. And right now, to be honest with you, I'm not really in split screen because my Chrome app is taking up the full thing, and this Messages app is kind of floating. Go to the very far right, and you might be able to move it over. Or move it.
It didn't work. I tried that.
Yeah, I apologize for not having the answer to that. I think that split screen is a bit of a, I'm going to try this. I'm going to see if I'm just trying to replicate what you're.
Wendy?
Yeah.
Wendy, is it possible it has to do with the app? So Apple apps automatically split and triple, and non-Apple apps just kind of plop somewhere?
You know, whoever's saying that, you're absolutely, it's a good possibility. Native Apple apps perhaps are more comfortable doing split screen in like the, exactly the way they're supposed to. I'm going to try something. So I just opened
Probably part of the coding that they just do automatically and the rest of them aren't set up that way.
Yep.
That's my guess.
Out
You
of,
know,
curi-
it's a good
Sorry.
guess.
out of curiosity, now that I'm closing all of these open apps, will it take them longer to load than if they were already, quote, open?
No, not really. I mean, like 1 second. No,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
So I'm back now on my home screen. I want to show you one little trick. I want to make sure you're comfortable with split screen because that was a question by a lot of learners. Split screen. Warren, are you comfortable how to close it?
Yes, it's very good.
Okay. Now, as you can see, and if this is not something you want to learn, just stop me. You can see on my iPad, I have boxes that are blue that have multiple or a couple of applications living in them, okay? Like right here, mine says utilities, maps, fun games, social networking. Those are called folders. And the way that you get them is you drop like-minded applications on top of each other, and Apple will come up with a name for you. But if you don't like the name, I want to make sure you know how to change it. So photos and camera to me are like-minded applications, right? So what you're going to do is hold photos. I'm going to tell you first, hold photos down until you see edit home screen. I'm going to drag photos over to camera and drop it. So with iPad, guys, there's drag and drop and there's scrolling, right? Scrolling is scrolling. Drag and drop means hold the the icon until you know where you want to drop it. It's kind of like holding a mouse until you know where to drop it. So I'm going to hold photos down, edit home screen. Everything's going to wiggle. Wiggle means action. I'm going to pull that and drop it. And it made a folder called photography, right? And it put in it, if I click on it, my photos and my camera. It named it photography. Now, if for some reason you would like a folder, it depends how you file things with paper. Some people file things alphabetically. Some people file things by company, whatever. But say I wanted this folder to have all my apps that begin with P. I'm going to hold the word photography down and a black box is going to come around it. So I'm going to hold photography down. You see the black box around it? I'm going to touch the X. So it takes that away and it brings up automatically my keypad because Apple's software is so perfectly works that it knows you need to enter something. So I'm just going to do a capital P. That's all I want that folder to be named. And then I'm going to tap anywhere on the screen, tap anywhere on the screen. Once, tap it twice, it will, stop wiggling and it will put it back down into the line. But what I like about this, and not everybody does, and I've had a lot of learners say, well, the great thing about the iPad is that the icons are so big that you can just see. Absolutely perfectly well-stated, appropriate thing. You can slide and you can see. The beauty about app developers is they make their application icons, really discernible without even needing to read it, for the most part. So iPad is not that organized because I teach off of it. I like to play around. But if you want organized applications, do it. If you don't like the name of it, change it. So one app that is on everybody's iPad that you might not know about is this one. I wasn't going to tell you this. I wasn't going to teach it, but now that I see it, I'm going to tell you. It's called Tips. Apple puts that on there and they update it all the time. Okay. And what it generally is their tips and tricks for that day, that week, whatever. So it turns out that they're doing, this is like iPad OS. So see the iPad operating system. So if I touch that, it's going to teach me a few things. You can read down, widgets and orientation. It just is it's a little Apple lesson. Okay. It's kind of fun. So I just want you, and then you can scroll across and you can, learn what they're teaching or what they've got going. But I wanted to make sure that you've all got this application living on your iPad. It's also living on your phone. and it will be tips appropriate for your phone or tips appropriate for the iPad. It's kind of cool. It's just a fun thing to know about. So here we are back at our home screen. We have done filing for our applications. We've done split screen. What else do you guys really want to know, or do you want me to just teach you some things?
Hey, I have a question.
Go for it.
I saw you had an icon that was photo booth. Where did you get photo booth? I thought it went away.
It's funny that you saw that. Photo booth is still around, but it's not.
It's like, oh,
It's not really used for very much. I use photo booth when I am loading new applications that I need to see how a camera, like for example, with a camera, how the camera is going to work. I don't know if it's not around anymore. Is it not supported? Maybe. I have no idea. I don't even think the app's around anymore, but now I'm going to go Google for it. Okay.
So that's one of my tips. When you don't know, Google the error.
Oh,
show up an answer of some sort.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay.
Question.
Yep.
Question. Is there a setting to have it to show properly whether you're looking vertical or horizontal position? Some pages I can be reading and I want to go horizontal, and there are times when I want to turn it vertical. Is there?
You have to just turn you have to turn the iPad. You can't just make. It's a brilliant idea, right? You want to. No, you have to turn your iPad vertically or horizontally.
I'm just saying sometimes it won't. The program or whatever it's doing, it won't turn as you turn the iPad. It won't automatically turn. You got to go back and stay.
You're exactly right. I have seen that in some programs. You're absolutely right. I have seen an occasional program not be workable in a different format. You're absolutely right. I don't think there's a rhyme or reason to it.
Right.
But if it doesn't, then it doesn't.
I think Instagram only shows vertically. I don't think you can do it horizontally.
Huh. Well, let's try it. I think I have Instagram on my.
Yeah, see what you think.
Yeah, that was my question about Instagram as well, because I can't load it horizontally.
Let's take a look. I have Instagram. I have Instagram right here. Let me turn my iPad vertically. It did. It turned it.
Mine will only show vertically. I can't get it to go horizontal. It opens horizontal, and then when I look at a picture or I'm just wondering if there's a setting I'm missing.
Setting. You are asking a very valid question. I don't know. I'm going to see. Give me 1 second. There didn't used to be.
How did you get to that screen? Is that in Google or something?
Oh, I have Instagram loaded on here.
Yeah, I do too. I'm just asking this screen, when I open it up, it just goes directly to the first, the home screen, my home screen or whatever.
Your home screen of Instagram or home screen of your iPad?
Instagram.
I think she's talking about how did you get to search?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not such a big Instagram user, so I am going to let you know that let's see. Oh, right there. Let's see. So that's I'm going to tell you what this is, guys. I have used Instagram. I put it away. The way that I like to think about apps that I have put away is that I've checked a book out of the library, brought it home, used it, and now I don't want it to take up space. So that's what the cloud right there. The cloud that's right under Instagram means that I need to download it again in order to use it again. So I'm going to bring it down and we're going to see. And you know what? You might be right about Instagram not turning, because I only had that the app store for it open. I did not have the app open.
Okay.
So let's try it now. Let's open it and see. You might see it's vertical. You are. Let's see.
Yeah, mine is only vertical. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It's funny. This is funny, you guys. So this is good. So I am screen mirroring. Let me put somebody who's waiting in the waiting room. So I'm screen mirroring. So in other words, I I have my iPad going to Zoom, but I'm also on a computer so that I can see all of you. On my iPad, it's horizontal, but it's not, it's in like, it looks like I should be turning my head, right? But the way it's zooming, when I share my screen, it's vertical. So I think it's just, you're absolutely right. I think it's application dependent. And I know there's not a setting per se, but I think it's application dependent.
It might be because Instagram's designed more for a phone, not an iPad. So they don't spend money on designing the separate version for the iPads.
I don't try to even guess what these social media,
It was true.
I don't try.
I'm sorry to divert you. You were on a better track than waiting to figure that out.
You know what? It's okay. What I think I would like, let me ask you guys a question. Would you like to learn some things about the photo app, or would you rather me teach you some things in settings about your control center and stuff? And we could do both. We have a little bit of time.
Settings.
Okay.
First.
There is you know what? There is not a photo class. There's a Google Photos. There's not a photos class. I think I should teach one because I know a lot about photos. Let's everybody open up their settings.
Can you answer one question, please?
Absolutely.
How do I have split screen and I can't seem to get rid of the split screen. How do you undo split screen?
Okay, so two ways. One, do you see a little tiny bar in between your split screen?
Let me go back.
Let me show you. If I go here and then I go to split screen, let's see, let's try it again. Okay, we're gonna do something. Oopsie.
Oh, it's gone.
I know the split screen is frustrating as all get up, not gonna lie.
I think it's gone.
You can hit your home button twice and you can bring up your app and then close it that way.
Well, I tried to actually.
Oh, frustrating.
I think it's gone eventually. I've lost you about 5 times already. So.
Okay, so we're in settings, right? Settings are the brain of your computer. This is really important, and you guys might know this and might not. Your Apple ID is the key to your iPad, right? It's the key to doing anything, and you have to have your Apple ID and password. So underneath my name, you can see it says Apple ID, iCloud Media Purchases. I want to open this for a minute because I want you to see a couple things. So obviously my name, phone number, email, that's all in there. Before I can go in and do anything, it's going to ask me for my password. So I'm going to push cancel just because I don't need to do that. But what the important part that I wanted to show you here is payments and shipping. Okay, so now it is asking for I'm going to have to put it in. And this is what I want to show you in case you're having any problem with the Apple Store.
Yes.
So Apple must have a default payment in order for you to download things in the App Store, even if they're free.
Yes.
They use the word purchased and free interchangeably because to them, anything you download is a purchased item, even if it's free. But if you're having a problem, it's because your payment method has either expired or you need to put your security code in again. I would need to put my security code in probably if I wanted to do anything other than bring an application down, like if I wanted to buy it or something, if it was a paid application. But the best way to the first thing to try if you're having a problem is to make sure your Apple ID and password are both up to date and in there. Sometimes you have to re-enter them and re-enter them. Apple is doing so much security, so much verification now that frequently they're asking for your ID and password a lot more than they used to. But the payment and shipping is where you go, and you find it under your name. See where it says here. Okay.
Where did you say that? Where? Oh yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. Yeah. So on older iPads, you might not see your name and all of those Apple ID, iCloud, Medium purchases. You might not see that. You might see it in the left-hand column. You might see it hanging around in this column on older iPads or iPads that don't have the latest software. So a couple things I wanted to show you that you might not know. When we go, if I slide, so now I'm like scrolling, right? I'm scrolling. If I teach this in another class, so accessibility has a lot of really amazing options that I think you should know about.
Wow.
Who had a question?
No, I was just saying, whoa, I never even knew about it.
Yeah, whoa. Accessibility is great because the things that I like in accessibility to just change forever, display and text size, all right? So if you bring that up and I turn off bold text, see how like light it gets?
Mm-hmm.
And then if I make it, it's just like fonts. It's basically just like, you know, a font on anything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's makes it bolder. And if larger text also. So if I slide this little guy down, it gets pretty small. If I slide it all the way to the right, it gets a little too big. I keep mine one setting over the middle. But this action of changing this display size will be now set for like anything and everything you do, okay? So I like that particular option. And then up here, you know what I just realized? I forgot that Let's View has the coolest little tools. Forgot about that. Let me see if I can like do this. Okay, so this little arrow right there, when you have an opportunity to go backwards, meaning go to a previous page, maybe to get to a home or to something, it will have that left arrow. So if you tap on it, it's going to bring me back. And then as you can tell, it brings me back one more.
Uh-huh.
So if there's no more backs to go back, then obviously that arrow is gone. But it's an important arrow because a lot of times you're working on something and you're like, wait a minute, I need to go back a page or back to where I was. If there's a left, you know, an arrow, a lesser than arrow, it means you can go back. So that was one thing I wanted to teach you. Another thing I wanted to teach you, and we can practice maybe a little. Oh, it's getting late. It's okay. Hi. So voiceover, if you want to, not voiceover, voice control. If you want to talk to your iPad, there's two ways to do it. One is through voice control and one is through the microphone. So if I push voice control and then I turn it on, when I'm in an application, I'm just going to show you. So I'm going to go to notes. If I want to talk to it, I have to go to my microphone up here and tell it. I have to go, hey, Siri, and talk to it. I don't love that command. I would rather teach you guys something else. So on this, if I want to start writing something, I would rather, you see the microphones down at the bottom, right here? Oh, see, look, it picked it up, guys. Did you see it picked it up? And it wrote it. But I know, right? And so it wrote it, it just didn't write it at my speed. But if you push the microphone, then you see this, you know, wave come up that you're used to seeing. And see how it's typing it at the top? You see this wave came up that you're used to seeing. And then if you just tap the little pad again. But that, I personally like that better because I think it types it more in the speed that you're saying it, whereas the voice control types it a little bit delayed.
How do you get those icons at the very top right corner? Like the trash can and the.
Oh, those are mine. You're not going to have those. Those are mine from the screen sharing. Uh-oh. Those are mine from the screen sharing app that I'm using.
Okay.
You know, you're the second person to ask me that. That was a good question. Yep.
I have a question. If one
Yes.
has an older iPad and say they want to clear everything off to give to a grandchild or something, is there a quick clear all to take all your information off of the old iPad?
Yep. I'll teach you how to do that. So we're in settings and we're going to go to general. And down at the bottom, it says reset. Okay. So do you see it says reset? And you can erase all contents and settings. You see that?
Okay. Okay.
So you can do it that way. That's probably the best way to do it. Did you see, you saw what I was doing, right? You went
Okay,
to
reset all settings. It's at the top, that one, or
I would first do erase all content.
erase all content.
Mm-hmm. Okay. First do erase all content, and then do go back to the same screen and put erase or reset all settings. Okay. I will give you guys a little tip. Reset network settings. So if you're having like issues with the network, one of the best, or even cellular, it doesn't matter. If you're having some issues, things are slow, it's just not working, it's really helpful to go in here and push reset network settings. What it will do is do like a hard reset within your device for the networks you have previously joined. So if you have joined, you're somewhere and you previously have joined networks, it will take those out and you'll have to join them. But it does do a nice job of clearing some dirty trash or whatever that's gumbling up your network settings. So be aware that if your things aren't working right, just be like, okay, I think there's another way I can make this faster. So Warren, does that help you?
Yes, it does.
Okay, great. Now I'm back on my home screen. Before we end the class, I want to know if there are things. So first of all, I want to know a couple things, because this is my new class, because I thought it was really important, because I had a lot of people in my beginner class that I know are ready to move on. My question for you, and you can put it in the chat or you can send it to Get Set Up, are a couple of things I'm going to ask you. A, if you like the format of me asking you questions. B, if you'd like me to just come up with, content and tools and shortcuts or things to do. And 3, if you think I should sort of, like the way I just sort of had free for all kind of, I just, kind of let you ask a question, then I answered it, then I moved on. I want everybody to have an opportunity to learn something. And I do know that everybody learns a little something when you take a new class, but I don't want this to be geared just to like a private class for like 1 or 2 learners. So if you could just let me know how you felt about the way this went today, and the speed and what you learned, and if it was comfortable and all those things, that would be so helpful to me. So again, this class is going to run hopefully once a week as well as my beginner class. And I would like to move with the speed of who's taking the class. I don't think that an intermediate class has parameters that need to be defined, because, and you may have launched this class and seen, I think it was somebody else did the pre-recording thing, and I can't remember who it was, but I'm the one teaching this class now, and I would love ideas, thoughts, anything that you think would be helpful to me to teaching it, because I want to be able to go over lots and lots of different things. I think at the intermediate level, what's nice is I can go over a lot of different things, and I won't repeat every week like the basic class, where it's really important to just learn, the basics. So, because this device is so fun, so cool, has endless limit, and now with the new operating system and with the connectivity, you can basically organize your files and documents and things like you would on a computer, and it's wonderful. So,
is there any way a Get Set Up class can be more than an hour? Because sometimes it feels like we get going, and I know that you have these parameters of other classes and stuff, but it would be great if
so you can like this. You can send that in. That has been a suggestion of mine a couple of times, and I was told by the people that started or whatever that an hour is about a learner's max of learning.
Yeah, so, I think an hour and a half.
I mean, go ahead, send it in, tell them that you think that. And, the honest truth is so much of this, especially with tech classes, is kind of in the works, right? We're kind of figuring things out, because I taught a class yesterday, and it was, you had to have the app. to get anything out of the class, and half the class hadn't downloaded the app. So I spent half the class working on downloading it and the other half teaching the content for that app. So it's an in progress. You know, I think that certain classes need to have a prerequisite, like the app needs to be downloaded, because otherwise I don't always teach the lowest common denominator, but I appreciate that everybody is here to learn something. And so I'm massaging it as I go, kind of. So let me know what you thought. Let me know if you think that it was, you know, good, that you learned some things. I'll repeat things. You know me, if you've taken my classes, I will answer the same question 500 times. I don't care. I want you to learn. I want you to take away something. You spent time being here. So it's important to me that you learn something.
Will any of your future classes be in the notes or that you send out, or do we know?
It's coming. That's coming. That is a future. That is going to be future on the dashboard or on your app, the website. It's going to say, like, if you can pick an instructor and see what they teach.
Okay.
So I will tell you that I teach a stroke class, a stroke awareness class. I teach all the iPad beginner, intermediate, and there will be an advanced class. I teach a bit on health and wellness and exercise and why it's important. I'm kind of all over the map. I fill in a lot of spaces and places that they need, but I also have a love of travel, and I teach some classes about some of my travels. And I will take you on a journey to Rwanda if you want, or I'll take you on a journey to Spain. It kind of depends where you want to go. So thanks for being here. I really appreciated it. I loved having you, and come back.
Wendy.
Thank you.
Wendy.
Thanks, Wendy. It was great.
Yep. Who had a question? I can stay on for a couple
I
minutes.
have a question on that split screen. How can I narrow my split screen, the one I bring up secondly?
Okay, I'm going to show you. So I am going to bring up my split screen, maybe. Split screen. Oh, this is so frustrating, not going to lie. Let's see. Split screen does not like to work so easily. I'm going to actually find out if maybe I'm doing something wrong. Trying to bring it up. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Nope. There we go. Okay. So this little guy right here, that line right there.
Yeah.
If you move that line, you grab it with your finger, you can change those. So that's how you do it.
When I bring up my, let's say I want to put my notes up there, it's a big square, so it replaces the previous.
Close out your apps and start over with that. I know what you're saying, and I get where you're coming from. I think that maybe I don't know something in notes that I need to look into, because I know what you're saying, and I know what has happened. I'm just not sure why it happens and how to remedy it. But if you want to make it so that one is smaller than the other, and then of course, as you remember, guys, you take this little guy, grab it, and move it over to close to get rid of that. So we'll look into that. It's a good one. Thank you, Lester, for being here. He's always I just know that he's here, and that if I have a problem, and if he knows anything about iPad, I'm going to make him jump in. But thanks, guys, for being here. We love you. Get Set Up is a great organization. Share it with everyone and anyone who wants to learn something. You know how many great classes we have. And be good to yourself. COVID's on its way down the slide. So let's get it out of here. Get vaccinated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Am I funny? Do I make people crack up? Okay. Okay.